You hear that, ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries? This is what we call nostalgia. This is symbolism right here. When you hear songs like this, it reminds you of the summertime, here specifically in New York City. Welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's the one, the only Trinidadi Panamanian Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunner, Suck Panyamada, Giovanni Anglin. You already know.
Yo, what's going on? It's Bashtin, recording live from LA, Gio in Brooklyn. What's going on, folks?
Oh, Bashtin's back in LA once again. What would be like a summertime LA song, Bashtin, since you are now a residential?
Asking me like I'm a
LA
local. You gotta stop that. I'm still Queens from this day forward. Unless I live in LA for the next 10 years, I cannot answer any LA type questions.
And I will continuously ask you the LA type questions because
you listen to more LA rappers than I do.
I'm fully aware of this, but the fact that you're just there, I'm just gonna ask you the questions every week until you just come back to New York, and I'm like, all right, let's talk about some other New York stuff.
In order for me to understand the culture, I would have to listen to the radio. So
okay.
Local radio. So maybe that's something we need to do. You know, here we're Black Seinfeld. We're on local radio, WBAI 99.5 FM. Maybe I gotta listen to the competition on the other side.
See what they're doing over in Power 106. You know, see what they're doing on what's the other one, 92.3 or something.
Yeah, wherever they have the commercials.
Yeah.
No, the YouTube interviews.
Exactly.
That's where I know some of these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
I think Big Boy.
Yes.
Neighborhood. That's all I know, to be honest. But he's really funny at doing interviews.
That's fair. In hindsight, Bashtin, I'd just like to say with this record, vocally, Lumi D isn't the greatest. Like she's not that good vocally. But hey, for some reason we were able to get this off during the summer times in New York City, and I just want to coincide this by bigging up all the Puerto Rican people, because this Sunday the Puerto Rican Day Parade is going to be happening in full strength once again. We haven't had the Puerto Rican Day Parade for the past 2 years due to COVID, of course. This is going to be the first time in the past 2 years that we're going to have the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So I want to shout out all the Puerto Ricans that have not left New York. All right, I want to big y'all up. I know a lot of y'all moved over to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and all that, Allentown. I don't know why y'all did it, but hey, I mean, I get it. New York can be a lot for people.
Nah, a lot of black people also did the same move too. I'm not gonna hold you, Gio. A lot of black people has done the same thing.
Hey,
more affordable houses.
That's true.
Houses over there, 3-bedroom, nice, beautiful houses. Look like you're in a cabin in a gated neighborhood.
That is true, Bashtin. Hey, and
less than $300K.
And I won't dispute that, but this is not about black people right now. This is about the Puerto Ricans. It's their time to shine Sunday. So I just want to big them up, because for a while when we were younger, Bashtin, or at least when I was younger, the top Spanish people were the Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans have.
I grew up with Colombians.
You grew up in Queens.
Gardens, so yeah,
that's right.
Well, my part of Queens, I had a lot of Colombians.
Yeah, there's a lot of Colombians over there in Elmhurst as well. I've learned that from dating Colombians. So I've learned where y'all congregate. So shout out to all the Colombians that might be listening. Oh, we do have a Colombian fan that tunes in, actually. I think her name is Anna or something. So Anna, if you're listening to this, shout out to you. But yeah, this is about the Puerto Ricans. So shout out to all the Boricuas out there, the beautiful Boricuas.
Definitely stay safe out there. There's always something going on, but I can say that for any type of parade or event in New York.
Yes.
When the alcohol levels and the heat kind of hit together, a mess is about to happen. So everybody got to stay safe.
It's already been summertime.
You're not about that life. 2, control what you drink. You don't want to be too drunk in the afternoon while the sun's out. It's too early.
It's already been summertime shootout in New York.
Yeah, it's been really, really reckless out here.
Yeah.
It's funny because I just recently read an article about Mayor Eric Adams and his 20% rates, where people love him and they hate him. So I think he's roughly around 20% in terms of support. And they're saying now the honeymoon phase is over. Now they want to see some action, some instant action. And I'm not going to lie, no matter what type of mayor you are, especially in New York, that instant action is not going to be a thing. Unless you're going door to door, really running up on everybody's homes, making sure there's no illegal gun. The best thing you could do is gun buyback.
Which I've been hearing he's been doing.
Yeah. So that's definitely started 2 years ago with the Blasio, if I remember. And I think within the first day, they got like maybe a little over 150 guns. So, they get it, and they kind of close your eyes on whatever happens. The gun is hot. They're not even going to look into it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of what they're doing now is they're doing the buyback on what's called ghost guns, which are guns that don't have like serial numbers on them. So it's basically the same thing as you were saying about the buyback.
Yeah. So hopefully that continues working, but it's weird how social media shows a lot more in terms of like the shooting, and especially Instagram and Twitter. I think I bumped into a Twitter page that was just showing a lot of stuff in New York, and I'm in LA. It's like, all right, let me look and see, and this pretty much just strictly focused on a lot of gun violence that's been happening on a daily basis, actually. So, and there's footage everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. So
yeah, I recently
people are making it hot for themselves. This thing I know.
It's interesting that you say that, because I recently saw a viral video going around on New York Twitter of these two kids robbing this one kid at Brooklyn Bridge Park at gunpoint, and suddenly they get surrounded by all these kids with their phone out as they're recording this dude getting robbed at gunpoint. It's the wildest thing ever. Black Mirror is becoming real.
Well, it's one thing I learned. The one few things I learned in sociology is in terms of like action when presented in especially like a violent act, it's very difficult to do something. So the crowd will most likely do what the crowd does. So when I saw that video that Gio explained, it was like in the park, and it's like three people holding up one person at gunpoint, as Gio said, and a crowd, everybody with their phone out recording. The most they could do is one person could do is record while someone tries to stop the action, but that's very unsafe. So the best thing everybody could do is have different angles and be an eyewitness. I don't know where the story led up to after that.
Same.
But it's such a weird event, and like, how do you react when you're in a situation like that? Because you don't want to be an innocent bystander, and that's the biggest thing. As a New Yorker, there's always shootouts. Even though the victims aren't hurt, the shooters aren't hurt, there's always an innocent bystander. So
right. And if you're the one robbing the dude, like, wouldn't you be upset that everyone's recording you doing the robbing? Y'all got to learn how to like be better criminals. I'm sorry.
This is not Goodfellas, all right? There is no culture. There is no OGs teaching, and it shouldn't be a thing too. We always frown upon OGs teaching people how to do illegal stuff, but at the same time, like there's no OGs, so everybody's just buck wild. Whatever they see on TV, they try to mimic, and it's the culture. Hearsay, do this, do that, then they all act a fool.
Yeah.
Like I said, people there's cameras everywhere.
That is true.
On Instagram, and there's pages like private pages you follow, and they're just showing everything. I was like, wow.
Yeah, Twitter has become the new CNN. It's become the new news site where you get all of the news first on Twitter. You get the news way before you actually see it on like actual established news outlets.
And I do appreciate that. I do appreciate like an eyewitness, but of course the most dangerous thing is people lying, saying they're there when they weren't, or showing old footage from maybe 5 years ago in a separate incident and try to connect it to. So that's the only thing you got to keep an eye on. But yeah, it's been very interesting.
Yeah, that's a toxic thing too, Bashtin, where I think sometimes where everyone feels like because they've watched episodes of Law and Order, SVU, or like NCIS, CSI, they feel, or just ID, they feel like they can just piece together everything all at once within an instant. And sometimes, people can be wrong, but also groupthink and the majority belief can outweigh like the actual truth on certain things.
Hey, I don't blame them. My favorite TV show growing up was Psych. And I feel like there's a little bit of propaganda of all of us. We like certain cop shows. I think the last good cop show I enjoyed was Brooklyn Nine-Nine up to season 5, of course. But in terms of everybody wants to be a detective, I don't know if you remember this, but in our early years in college, we had a we did like a small radio program. In one of the episodes, I discussed how many college students go to school because they want to be a forensic detective because they love these type of shows. I always wondered where that stat went because it's been a bit quiet for that certain class of people. But at one point in time, it's like every kid was going to like John Jay here in New York,
Definitely.
to do forensic science, and I don't know what happened to that. Like, is it still a trend?
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't stomach it. I don't know. We'll see.
No,
That's
no
a
one
good
was
question.
hiring. There's too many in the field.
That's true. Hey, I don't
Said
know.
be a cop.
Yeah, that's different. That's different, man. But how have you been, Bastion? What have you been up to? You're back in LA now, getting readjusted to the time zone again.
Yeah, it's did that last night. Pretty much went to sleep at 4 a.m. East Coast time, but over here it was 1 a.m. in order to adjust that 6 hours. I try. It's easier to do it in LA compared to like doing it in New York. So yeah, I adjusted, but I'm still like awake. That's why I'm still able to do this show and not feel like I was exhausted.
True. That's good, man. I'm glad to know that you're doing well.
How about you, bro?
I guess I'll be completely honest. I haven't been doing well for the past week. I'll say since June began, I haven't been doing well. I guess you can say I've been very overwhelmed with things. Like nothing bad has happened to me, but I've just been learning a lot. To be a bit transparent but not overshare things, it's just how when you're young you have like this picture in your mind of like how your family is, and then you get older and you start learning family secrets and everything isn't really cracked up to what you thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I've been learning that for the whole month of May, and then June like was the whole culmination of everything. So learning everything about your family, and I get it, they're just people, but having that perception and then the actual reality of things, it just got overwhelming because they did a great freaking job of not letting me know anything going on. And so muddle that in with the job that not really digging at the moment because again, getting underpaid, getting overwhelmed with all clients, and then the clients who come in for the clients and they suck, and experiencing the stuff that I've experienced doing this job of almost dying, getting Karened. Oh, I never talked about any of this stuff, but a lot of that stuff, it just makes me fed up. And you know how I am. I'm not one to just hold my tongue on certain things. I know you do. You're better than me than I'll ever be at like holding that stuff back or saying it in a way where it isn't abrasive or
Unprofessional.
unprofessional or unprofessionally direct. I'm more 2 + 2 = 4, and I don't care how you feel about it because I'm not getting paid. You're not paying me enough to literally deal with this stuff. That's how I feel, and dealing with that and being overwhelmed with all of this stuff, I just haven't been good with that stuff. Other than that, I'm fine, but I haven't been that great since last week.
Now every time I think about like family secrets, I'm reminded by the new Gerard Carmichael special on HBO, Rothaniel, where he divulges more about his family secrets and secrets about himself, and how everything kind of blends with each other and how it affects you in your day-to-day life. It's very interesting. I always recommend people to listen to check it out. But there is really no strong way to handle those secrets.
There is none.
So it's more like how to cope with it.
Right. And the crazy thing is, for the most part, I don't really care much about things, or, I know we do this show and sometimes there's certain things that I don't want to talk about because I really don't care about it, but we do the show so we pretend to care about certain things just for content. But I don't know, man. Family just makes you, it just does something to you. Family, like learning about your family and learning about all the stuff that I learned from my family, from my dad's side to my mom's side, it all just culminated into just like you feel that a lot more because these people are essentially your blood, right? They're your family, you know, Fast and Furious style. So like learning all that stuff is like, okay, how do I internalize this? And now how do I just move on with it? And, you know, like Kanye said, it's okay not to feel okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take some time to just, you know, reflect on that really quick and try and move on as best as I can. And hopefully, you know, be in a better environment where, you know, I can be happy about working again, because I haven't been happy working since throughout the past year. Honestly, like this thing sucks.
Yeah, I think we're definitely dealing with the post-COVID. This is definitely post-COVID, even though it's still a thing. But trying to rebound, especially with our day-to-day workforce, it's going to be pretty difficult. But yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's how I've been feeling. If you want to send me some like well wishes, please go to blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. You know, we read all the comments. You know, we listen to all the music.
We read your essays.
We read your essays. Hey, Bashtin, do you want to learn how to do board operation?
No, absolutely not.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, people. I try to ask him. I try to convince him, but hey,
I'm so focused on like building our YouTube page and also redoing the website. I think that requires a lot more time and learning. Like Google Analytics.
Yes.
Google controls everything, but you gotta learn. You gotta learn the basics. Like that will help you get a job nowadays. Google Analytics.
I've actually saw that on TikTok. I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, it's free. There's always a program. You could learn Google Analytics in a week. You know, just like, put a good 4 or 5 hours a week and you'll be good.
Yeah, they offer classes for that.
Yeah.
I learned that. Yeah, shout out to TikTok. Like, I don't even use Google that much anymore. I just go on TikTok for everything now, which is weird because TikTok, I know like TikTok has been taking over the music industry like crazy, but there's literally a TikTok for anything that you want. There's a different niche market, if you will. And if you're a millennial, they have millennial TikTok. If you're into anime, there's anime TikTok. There's cooking TikTok, which is one of my favorite. And then my other favorites, New York TikTok, Caribbean TikTok, Spanish
Black
TikTok. Black capitalist TikTok. Yeah, there is Black capitalist TikTok where there's content creators like just showing off their house, showing off their everyday life.
23 with a house.
Yeah, I'm 23 with the house, or like I'm 26 with this badass view of the city, and I'm like across from Jersey, and I have this nice view of the city, and like I wake up and I just go to the gym and I listen to music all day, and I have two businesses, and you know my life is like this rather than the normal 9 to 5, and you can get it too if you work hard. If you invest, Kang.
Yeah, it's a psychological mainstream flex culture. But hey, Gio, if you think about it, we could also join TikTok in the same way, not just advertising this as a podcast or this as a radio show. If you wanted to, it wouldn't work that well because of how saturated the market is, but it's like how to start your own podcast, right?
I know.
You create 50 seconds of content. And of course, the first 10 videos or TikToks will be great. Then the next 20 will be just the same regurgitated 10 over and over again. But then you have a following, and people will reach out to you, DM you, ask for Zoom meetings, and boom, just like that. That's your side hustle. You're just answering questions on how to start your podcast. And of course, by the 5th one, you're going to stop because consistency is hard.
Yeah, consistency is really hard when it comes to podcasting. I think that's the number one thing, is to keep doing it and don't get deterred when
you already got the TikTok ready.
When LeBron James announced that he's creating a new damn podcast. Don't get deterred when celebrities are like, oh, hi, I'm Michelle Obama and I have my new podcast. Don't get deterred.
LeBron has a podcast. He just has to convert the HBO thing into audio, and that he's done.
Yeah, exactly. But still, what the point is, having established celebrities getting into the podcasting game, and that screws up the market because the podcasting market is so saturated already, and you have to understand that there's only 1% of podcasts that's actually making a valid living off of podcasting. And so if you want to make any sort of money off of it, one, consistency is the key, but also you're gonna have to eat a lot of sheep for many years. And I don't think people are really, I don't think they've really like reasoned with themselves on that and like slap themselves with some reality and really think about all that stuff. I think sometimes people do podcasts now because A, they just want an outlet to just talk, but also B, they see the millions and billions of dollars that people are making off of it and they want to be a part of it, but they don't understand how long it took for some of those people to get there. And also some of these guys and women are already established, and so wherever they go, their audience is going to follow, and that's how they make the money easier.
See, that's easily your third TikTok. I'm saying, like, it's a hard field to get in. You know, you could bring you and your friend, but learning how to have a conversation without, you know, losing topic, understanding what your show is about, and building onto that over and over on a week-to-week basis. That's difficult to do. But I have to give, like, shout-outs to those people on TikTok that are creating weekly content.
Absolutely.
You know, your friend came over on the show.
Whoa Walt Rants, man. Follow him on TikTok. Whoa Walt Rants. If you love anime, if you love the anime Haikyuu, I believe it's called. It's the volleyball anime. If you're huge fans of that, he specifies his content with that, but he's doing more anime stuff. He's doing more anime content. So definitely go to Whoa Walt Rants on TikTok.
You know, creating that culture, creating that fan base, and you know, trying to be part of the TikTok bubble, because that's how it is nowadays. So yeah, that's all I want to speak on that.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, if you want to be a part of the Black Seinfeld fan base, please go to our Instagram, Black Seinfeld NY, Black Seinfeld NY on Twitter as well. And of course, we have our website, but it's going to be changing really soon. It's under construction, but for future references, it is blackseinfeld.com. And always, you know, this is a podcast as well. I know we're live on 99.5 FM, WBAI New York, live out to these listeners right now from midnight to 2 in the morning. But, of course, this also doubles as a podcast. And I know a lot of y'all, I've seen the analytics, man, and a lot of y'all do listen to us on Apple Podcasts. So shout out to everyone listening to us on Apple Podcasts and CastBox and Google Podcast and Stitcher Radio and iHeartRadio, Pandora. I know we're on Spotify as well, but yeah, majority of the listeners, Bashtin, they're all on Apple Podcasts. So shout out to y'all. And I saw the huge spike in the analytics. A lot of y'all are in DC at the moment that are checking out the pod. So shout out to you, Chocolate City. I don't know, is DC still Chocolate City, or are they getting gentrified out too?
No, they're still the same.
That's good.
Still the same difficult city they are.
Good. DC is wild. I'm sure like everyone has like Marvin Gaye hats, but like they shoot niggas still.
I don't know about all that, but sure. It's the capital too.
Right. It is the capital. That must be weird. It's like you can like go to the White House and then probably like at the end of the block you can get like stabbed or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
But aren't they recently going to do something in terms of the January 6th, the insurrection hearings? Did you hear about that?
Well, WBAI is going to be following the whole insurrection hearings from I guess some of the
June 9th, June
yes.
13th, June 15th, June 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yes, and WBAI is going to be doing all that coverage. So, yeah, they're going to be, I guess, talking to some of the protesters or some of the insurrectionists, my bad, I should say. They're going to be talking to some of the insurrectionists who's participated in the insurrection and, I don't know, see what's up, I guess. I actually don't really
something
know.
Interesting comes out of it.
What's
we
that?
could definitely discuss it, but if nothing new from what we learned from 2 years ago, and I think we'll learn something. It will be very interesting. We discuss it next week, but we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see.
It's crazy how that was 2 years ago, man. Time's crazy.
Time is moving by.
Time is moving by so fast, man. The concept of time is nuts. Like 10 years ago, Bashtin's when we graduated high school.
Yeah.
Like I literally just came into mind when our good friend and family of the show. Intern Mike posted a story about how he didn't have a date to prom because all of the girls said he looked too much like his dad, who was the coach of the school and was one of the teachers, and he kind of felt salty about that. But yeah, I thought about I remember
Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike. But I like when he said that, I was like, damn, like this, it has been 10 years since high school, and it's been 10 years since my prom and my first like encounter of like going to like a ratchet ass spot during the prom after party. Because the prom sucked, but we all went to the after party, and the after party, it was eye opening because I remember the music was crazy. We were listening. This is when Chief Keef was real hot in the streets, and good music was on their incredible run. Of course, like the Good Friday releases were happening around this time, and Good Kid, Mad City was doing its thing, and The Weeknd came out with like House of Balloons and all that stuff. And so I remember being in that environment and that vibe, and like having nutcrackers for the first time, getting wine up on the gals. It was great. And I remember getting home at like 4 a.m. and not going to sleep and watching Tom and Jerry. That was a great night. Did you have a prom date?
No, I didn't go.
Why didn't you go to prom, Bashtin?
I had zero connection. You ask any of my close friends. We had zero connection to that high school. We do not care whatsoever for it. Zero connection whatsoever. No school spirit. We went to school, used that place to commune, like talk, education, then just bounce. So, yeah.
It's crazy, Bashtin.
I know they had it, but I don't know anybody that went personally.
Wow, man. I remember going to prom or wanting to go to prom, but I didn't have a date, but I got a date last minute. And so I already had my suit picked out. I already had my color that I wanted to wear, but I didn't know that if you're going with the date or a prom, or if you have a prom date, you have to match with the girl. So I think she wanted to wear like a peach color, and I wasn't getting no damn peach. So I just settled for white. I just settled for a white inside, and like it was good, but I was kind of salty I didn't wear my like purple lavenderish color. I was kind of salty about that, but in the end, it was great. I mean, I took a prom picture with her, and then me being me, I took a prom picture by myself. I don't know. That's kind of messed up a little bit in hindsight.
No, you want the memories.
Yeah,
I want your own solo memories.
I kind of did, and that one had the Rolls Royce in the background. I picked that backdrop, of course, and I pointed.
That's nasty.
Oh, absolutely, and I pointed to the camera as well with the two fingers. It was pretty disgusting, I will say. But yeah, that was my prom, man. All right, so we're gonna do the first song of the week, and the first song of the week is dedicated to the one, the only, Kanye West, man, because Kanye West has turned 45. Kanye's a legend, and of course, this is our one time of the month where we get to play some Ye, appreciate Ye for all of his genius and his glory, and for also staying out of the media. He hasn't been in the media for a while, so I'm happy about that. He's been keeping his mouth shut. Okay, him and the baby have been doing great. They've been doing marvelous jobs as of late, so I'm happy about that. Oh, he came out with that song that he did with XXXTentacion that he played in the Don the
for
Two
the documentary.
Yes.
And for the album.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great release, but we're not going to be playing that. We're going to be playing I Wonder, one of my favorite tracks off of Graduation, but it's going to be the alternative version to I Wonder, and you're going to hear what I'm talking about right after this. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about, I guess what I want to talk about I just want to talk about what's going on in Pride Month, the capitalization of Pride Month. I want to talk about some scandals that's been going on in the black community. And we'll be right back after this. Here's Kanye West, I Wonder, 2007 Graduation. That was Kanye West, I Wonder. Sorry again for the technical difficulties, y'all. My bad. It wasn't me, it was the computer. My bad. This is old things. This is old tech. We gotta work with what we got. It's no new MacBook Pro with the M1 chip, but it will do. It's here. So I got
a new M2 chip.
Word. Yeah, I know they put the new damn M2 chip, and I feel like a freaking idiot. It's like, oh, that M1 chip, that was for bitches. Look at this new M2 chip now.
You know what? In order not to feel bad, the best way to understand is not, like most softwares are not ready for M2 anyways. The same way they weren't ready for M1. That's why it took me a while to get it, the new MacBook. So you shouldn't be too upset with the M2 because by the time, like maybe 2 years from now, when M2 is really in the market, that's when your software will catch up. So, just relax and chill with your M1 stuff.
You're absolutely right, Bashtin. And I guess this is going to be a perfect segue since we're talking about Apple, just to briefly talk about the Apple press conference that happened a couple days ago, actually. Mm-hmm. But there's one specific thing coming to the iPhone.
Wait, just to quickly talk about it.
Please, yeah, go for it.
One of the first conference where they actually invited people since the pandemic, because recently they've been focused on just doing these presentations, these video presentations, and I do say they're very entertaining. They do a good job explaining what they need to do, giving them a better opportunity to explain their product. We're using more graphics, using more design, and rehearsing so that now they don't have to really do the whole thing live on stage. But this year, a lot of content creators that I know that I follow for tech went out and they were pretty much watching the whole thing. And then they were able to connect with the Apple products compared to previously where people like me and you, sometimes we didn't have access to the videos and we had to read what the bloggers were saying because they were at the event.
Of course.
But times has changed. Times has changed for the better.
Yes, I 100% agree with you on that. Did Marcus Brownlee go? I'm sure he definitely went, right?
Yeah, that's how I knew. They started inviting people because he was going. So, okay. So this is pretty much where the industry is feeling right now. They're feeling more comfortable to start inviting people to come over.
Yes.
So that's going to be a big beneficial. Hopefully, in my opinion, I actually do like that because you do get better opinions on the product before they're out to sell, where you trust this person, like, wow, this is the new computer or this is the new fold phone. I'm using it. It's interesting. Can't wait to see.
The fold
the
phone.
good stuff.
Oh, we're bringing
the fold phone.
They're going back to the old ways.
No, not Apple, but like in general, like Samsung Fold or
right. But I'm thinking like when they talk about fold phones, is it like vertical fold or is it like horizontal flip phone fold?
No, it's just one huge screen.
Oh, one of those. Yeah, I know Samsung has those. I've seen them before. Like, to me, aesthetically, it doesn't look appealing to me all that much. But, I mean, if they could find a nice-looking aesthetic to go with it, I think, of course, it's going to do numbers. We all love a big-ass screen now, unfortunately. So, I think it's going to do well.
There's a certain demographic of people that will be entertained with having a smaller screen and a big screen at the same time. The same group of people that will be very happy that now in their iMessage they could unsend messages, because for some reason it seems that's a difficult thing to kind of create. Yes. I know WhatsApp, when you resend a message, it shows message was deleted.
Yes.
Which I think is a very weird user reflective in order to show that, this user deleted a message they sent to you. It's like, that's unnecessary.
It's
keep it blank.
Bashing the whole streets. It's going to be nasty on these streets, and I just want to warn people with this new unsending messages. I feel like cheating, gaslighting, and connivery is going to go up 100%.
Well, the unsending will still show. I don't know how it works, but I know most applications, like Slack, for example, if you unsend, they'll still show like an edit, so you can see what they sent, but it won't be in the way. So
exactly.
I think they'll still be able to have those type of things.
And that's exactly the point, because if there's a notification or if it's a little mark saying, hey, this has been unsent, or hey, this has been edited, that's going to start World War III immediately. You think the whole Russia-Ukraine thing is going to happen? Oh, no, trust me, Bashtin. Trust
the unsend
me.
isn't bad because in the conversation now, that means because we don't have an unsend, that means we send things to people that we weren't meant to send. Like I want to send you video, but I didn't want to send you a video. I want to send someone else a video. So ignore that, right?
Yes, I'm
Then
sure.
I just edited it out. That's it. It should. I don't think it was causing any problems.
Here
I
you go.
think because it's on Instagram, it's the same thing, right? Twitter, people talk to them on Facebook Messenger. No one uses just Messenger, like iMessage, as their main tool.
Hey man, I feel like Bashtin, you're trying to do somewhat of a job of damage control here, and I appreciate the effort.
It's not even damage
People
control.
ain't gonna
It's
want to
just
hear that,
human
man.
error.
Uh-huh.
The human error is already used to not having the function to remove. So what's the most it could do?
Nah. Yeah, you try and say that to a rational person. Some people aren't rational, Bashtin. Some people have irrational thinkings. You know what I'm saying? Some people have insecurities, and they're gonna gaslight, and they're gonna start setting you up. I'm telling you, people, be warned. Be warned.
No, that's
okay?
what I'm trying
Hear
to
me-
explain in
hear
the
me
argument
well.
that you cannot impose, like you cannot. It's not invisible. There should be some sort of sign that a message here was not shown. The reason I don't like how WhatsApp does it is because it's like loud and it's gray and you can't remove it. It looks ugly.
Yeah.
Compared to other companies, what they do is like if you highlight it, they'll show an edited. And it does not visually, it's not in the way. You see what I mean? Design wise,
that's Bash.
I
See,
do design.
Bash didn't care about the designing. No, I'm not talking about design.
No,
flaws.
design and user interface is like the most important. The user experience is the most important part, right? Your perspective is it will get messy. I said no, it's already been messy. This doesn't do anything. This will keep the same amount of mess. That's my argument.
Oh no, this is going to ignite more mess. That's what I'm saying.
No, this will be the same amount of mess. I promise you. Because it's the same thing on Facebook. When you delete a comment and you change it, it shows edited. Like you could change the post, but you can't change the message.
I'm telling you, man. I think the connivery is going to be up a lot more. We're gonna see it all in the shade room. We're gonna see it on Lipstick Alley. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy.
I'm telling you now. People are already shady.
Oh, of course.
This doesn't do anything. If anything, this makes it more dramatic.
It's gonna amplify it.
No, but it's not. It's gonna be exactly the same thing. It's like, oh, you try to delete it. It's like it's visible. You can still see it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's my argument, Gio. It's the same mess. That's it. The same way people do screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
They'll screenshot it before you even delete it. So what's the point?
Okay.
Am I wrong?
I mean, if they have fast hands, we'll see.
Also, hey, in order to fit this conversation, the same reason, before iPhone allowed you to, before they added a feature for you to record your screen, there was messages and voice messages, right?
Yes.
And that would disappear like a Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was that a mess? Was that messy?
No, not one messy.
No, it wasn't messy because no one could record those messages until recently.
I save them little voice memos now. I do.
Most
personally.
people don't.
Oh,
Most
I
people
do.
are trying to like find ways to record them, which now they can. Right? Most of them will go away in 24 hours.
Oh,
so that's what I mean.
With
right?
iOS,
iOS,
you can save it though. There's an option to save it.
Oh, if the person doesn't want you to save it, you can't save it.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yes, the same way you could see read or not read. Some people it's just forever not read, even if they answer your message.
Right.
It works the same way.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
like Gio, like don't worry about it. It's going to be the same mess. People have always been a mess in civilization, even when they're writing letters to their mistress, okay? It's the same mess. You can't delete the paper. You cannot delete the envelope because the mailman delivered it, all right?
I get what you're trying to say with that analogy, but okay. All right. Fine. Well, it's June, people, and it is Pride Month. And, of course, I think last week we talked about how a lot of corporations are going to do a lot for Pride Month by sorry, water break, by putting a lot of rainbows in their logos. NFL, NHL, the NBA, Starbucks, or they're going to be giving out, different Pride Month milkshakes like over at Shake Shack. But I don't know if you know this, Bashtin, but Burger King over in Austria have decided to do something special for the gay community, and that is provide 2 burgers. You have 2 options with these Whoppers. You get one with 2 top buns or another burger with 2 bottom buns. And I find that hilarious, but also kind of tone deaf if you think about it. But I don't know what is like over in Austria, but once I saw this, I thought, 1, this can't be serious. 2, when I saw that it was serious, I thought it was hilarious. And 3, I thought to myself, Burger King Austria, you still have time to just not go through with this. Like, I know you want to show your solidarity to the LGBTQ community, but by giving them top and bottom options, I don't think that's right. I don't think that shows your alliance or your allyship to them. What do you think?
I do think every time these type of events happen, I think one of my favorite events that we discussed a long time ago was IHOP turned to IHOP, International House of Burgers.
Yes.
So I think it's the same thing. It's like the people in the room, they are bouncing ideas, and they have a theme for the month of Pride. Like, what can we do to show our allyship? Mm-hmm. And of course, they list things that they did previously. Of course, someone like me will do research to see what other company has done, and also see the safeness around this. So see how people participated. Did they like it? Did they participate when they came in line and ordered that specific sandwich because it was good? So I can only imagine how many ideas and test runs they went up to until they find a perfect idea, as in a burger with 2 top buns. And wouldn't it be interesting if they kind of reach out to somebody in the LGBTQ community and ask them, it's like, hey, would you be offended if we did this? And they said, no. Well, all right, let's do it. And then they did it. Then everybody's offended. Then it's like, okay. Well, then they backtrend, right? Backtrack.
It's interesting you say that, Bashtin, because there was a commercial where with 2 drag queens in Austria, 2 famous drag queen Austrians that are part of the top and bottom commercial, if you will.
Oh, okay. So that's what they did.
Yeah.
They kind of made it more like Apple versus PC.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember those back in those days, those commercials, where they kind of create a type of drama. So when people run in and say, what are you, top or bottom? And it's like, yo, these sexual innuendos gotta stop. And because I don't know if that was a good idea. Just saying it is hilarious.
It's super hilarious. I'm sorry. I'm so immature here, people. My bad.
But at the same time, it's the marketing. This is what they wanted.
Right.
And this is what they're pushing for. And will it work? Is it going to work? I'm not too sure. I will have to follow up to see where it goes from there.
Well, I mean, it's made its way to here in America, so I guess they're doing something right. I guess they got the look overseas.
I haven't seen any U.S. I only saw it in Austria.
Yeah, it's only in Austria.
Commercial.
Right, it's only in Austria because
it's a test market.
Yeah, because I think here in America, I don't think we're gonna be getting something like that anytime soon. I know we got the A1 burger where the buns were black and everything and the burger was black. We had the Angry Whopper where everything was red, but I don't think we're gonna get the rainbow burger or the top and bottom burgers. Just for the hell of it, just for laughing sake, Bashtin. Hypothetically speaking, which burger would you get? Would you get the top or the bottom burger? Which one would you get?
Those are 2 great questions. And I think Burger King, they use brioche buns, or I think they use regular.
They just use they use regular, sesame seed buns.
Sesame seed.
for the top, and then just the regular butt for the bottom. It's nothing.
It's funny. I had a local burger shop, and it's okay, right? It's like the most mediocre middle ground burger you'll ever have.
Like Carl's Jr.?
No, it's a very local, been around for a long time.
Okay.
And I'm eating it, right? And like, okay, this bread is obviously not brioche because I'm used to eating brioche burgers for the past few years. Like 5 years have been brioche, right?
It's the standard.
It's the standard now. And it's white, and I'm eating white sesame bread. And I was like, okay. The bottom tastes a little bit burnt. And it's kind of ruining my experience with this mediocre burger. And I ordered it knowing it's mediocre, right? Ordered it before. So I might have to, only because of that experience that happened 2 days ago, I might have to say 2 top burgers because it's really difficult to like burn the top part. And you can have a bad experience with it. And it's very, it's soft, so you can just crush it. And then you'd be good to go.
And also, like, if you somehow toast the sesame seeds too, I think it adds an extra depth to the burger. So I'm gonna go with you on that. I think I'd get the 2 top buns, because basically, like, also the bottom buns, they sort of look like the like a patty melt burger a little bit. They have, but it doesn't show like the white part of the burger, but the white part of the bun. So I think I'm gonna be the top. I'm gonna do the top buns.
Yeah, if you do the other ones, looks like you got like a grilled cheese burger.
Right.
It's so flat.
True.
So.
Well, yeah, man. So we have stuff like that happening over at Burger King, and then you have
like how we discussed, like it could have been a generalized like good idea for someone in the meeting, right?
I think so.
This is the test. Like we're the test market demographic, but we're 2 cis black men, so we're just not the right demographic for this at all.
Exactly. No, we're not. I think Burger King Austria really missed out on creating the SpongeBob pretty patties. They could have done it, and that would have sold bangers.
Nobody would eat that food dye coloring.
I'm sure. Trust me, they've already did the Angry Whopper, and they did the charcoal. They did the A1 Whopper where it was a black bun and everything was black. Trust me.
Well, they could do that because they use octopus ink, right?
Or squid ink.
Squid ink.
Or is that too expensive?
It was in Japan only.
No, there was where they had the black bun. They had that in America. I remember that one. I didn't eat it, but
I didn't eat it. Squid ink.
Yes, but I had the Angry Whopper, and that was all red, like red bun, everything. I remember that. But you can go down the route of Burger King Austria, or you can be like, one of our favorite people. You could be like Ray J. And I had this clip right here of Ray J, speaking his truth real quick about Pride Month.
A lot of niggas that's straight, they don't be trying to shout out to the gay community and all my gay niggas the right way. So I got to do it because I want to make sure niggas know that I'm showing nothing but love. Listen, I just want to say that it's Gay Pride Month. Shout out to all my gay niggas. Shout out to everybody in the LGBT community. I told my niggas that it need to be more straight niggas, giving love to the gay niggas, and I hate using the N-word. But look, it's serious though, you know what I'm saying? Because like I got a lot of gay friends and I got a lot of real niggas that's gay, and we make a lot of money together, but it ain't just about the money. It's just niggas is cool, and that, whether you a gay female or a gay dude and you a straight dude, whatever, it don't matter. Like, but it need to be more straight niggas showing love to the community. It just need to be.
I agree with Ray J 110% with that. I'm with him on that. And Ray J is going to go so far, and he's gonna create his own Gay Pride Month, but in sponsoring a lot of gay communities. He's going to sponsor a lot of gay businesses. He's going to give money to gay people, and he's going to call it Ray Pride instead of Gay Pride. It's going to be Ray Pride Month. Bashtin, how do you feel about that?
He's putting his money where he put his mouth, right? So if he says he's going to do something, and he does it, show support. That's kind of what. Of course, he could have said it a little bit better. Maybe he was freestyling and he did one recording.
Yes.
I remember watching this. Like, okay, you could have, turned it off, recorded one more time. But
I cut out the part where he talked about his tongue, where he stuck his tongue out. He's like, is a nigga tongue red? Like I took that part out.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. At a certain point, you could just like cut, redo it again. Was it like a live or something?
Yeah, he was on IG Live, and it was just in his spirit.
That makes more sense.
Yes, and it was just in his spirit to just talk from the heart, and I agree with Ray J 100%. But Ray J just has a way of saying things, and unintentionally, it's just really funny how he says it. But he's dead ass serious though, and it's not like this isn't the first time where we know Ray J to be an ally of the gay community. Like, who can ever forget 11 years ago where he went on 105.1 and he talked openly about having a set of friends, a set of booty goons, if you will, with a person that we played earlier with Lumi D, and that's fabulous. Talking about getting his booty goons to go ahead and
bring it up. Like,
just
I get it, though.
to give Fab just a stiff talking to, if you will. So Ray J's always been down with
that's not the best example, G. I'm sorry to intertwine, but that's the worst example ever.
I've been having a crappy week. I'm trying to have some fun here, okay? But you get what I'm saying here. We love Ray J here, and Ray J, although he doesn't say things as articulate as he can say them, he is correct in what he said in the message.
Yeah, like I said, like you gotta show support. If you say you're gonna show support, you have to show support, especially all year round. And that's why we always call out these corporations that do it for 1 month and switch out.
Yeah, Burger King.
Once it hits July, to get in focus for July 4th. Because it's all a marketing thing.
Of course.
And then of course, around the corner is going to be Juneteenth.
Yes.
And they're going to do something similar to that. Now it's a recognized holiday.
Yes.
National holiday. The best thing they could do is try to find a way to make a profit off of it. Which sucks.
Oh, please,
but at the
Bashtin.
same time, I wonder what they're gonna come out with.
Watermelon flavored crap. I bet you my life on it. We're gonna get some watermelon flavored something.
No, that's too easy. That's the thing. Like, they will have to do something a little bit more extravagant, something so far fetched it had no connection to it. That's the way I look at it. It has to be something so far fetched. It could be something like spicy mayo Juneteenth. Right?
What?
It's something so far fetched that it did no way you could get from point A to point B.
It would be hilarious if a company comes out with a grape flavored drink for Juneteenth, just a grape drink, sugar water,
sparkling water is the most popular thing right now, right?
Yes.
So like a grapefruit sparkling water only for Juneteenth.
No,
like that.
Juneteenth
Watermelon grape. No, don't blend
no,
out.
Juneteenth hard seltzer grape. That's gonna pop off in the streets. Juneteenth hard seltzer grape. Think about it.
Yeah, a hard seltzer. You said
hard seltzer grape. Hard seltzer has been knocking in the streets. I've had it for the first time a couple weeks ago.
White Claw?
Yeah, it was white. Yeah, I felt like a basic bitch drinking a White Claw, but hey, it was actually pretty delicious.
Basic. It hasn't been basic since it popped off. I promise you that.
It's actually really delicious, though. I was like, damn, who would have figured? I didn't know. I was sleeping on the hard seltzer.
I don't care for it, man.
I don't care for it either, but it was the only
water.
It was only thing that was there. It was BYOB, so like everything that was there was either beer, which the beer was gone, and only thing remaining was a hard seltzer, White Claw. So by default, I just had to drink it.
What's the other one? LaCroix, but that's not hard seltzer. That's just regular.
Yeah, that's just LaCroix.
That's garbage too. I remember the first time I had it. It was in a very corporate environment. Well, back when I worked at Tesla, I could say that.
Yeah, you can
say
that now.
I worked at Tesla first year, they did this little event, and they had the food and everything,
the hors d'oeuvres,
and they had the drinks. And it's like LaCroix, and it looks beautiful. The design, and I never had it before. It's like, oh, this is like, all right, it's Dr. Pepper, which I normally go for, but I'm gonna try this out. It's just new. Everybody's drinking it, and it's going away. And I said, all right, let me have some. I pour half in the cup. I'm drinking it like, oh wow, this is straight trash.
See,
I'd rather just drink water.
See, this is why. See, when all the white people do it, this is why you should not do it. Okay,
but no, it's actually extremely popular.
I know it's popular.
It's not a white thing anymore. It's
I still see it in the streets.
Global. It's global.
I still see it in the Caucasoid streets out here. I'm telling you, we gonna start seeing Dr. Umar drinking LaCroix now. I'm telling you, it's gonna.
No,
be
that's
crazy.
what I'm trying to say. Like, there's this interesting video that described how soda sales has been going down in the past recent years because people are taking a more healthy approach. But since LaCroix or LaCroix or however you pronounce it,
not LaRue,
LaCroix,
that's an artist.
LaCroix, sure, you know, whatever LaCroix is, right? Since that came into market, the seltzer or carbonated drinks have been going up just
absolutely.
like that. And it's like, ain't no way, because that stuff is gross. But apparently people like seltzer water.
Because it's
carbonated drinks.
Because it's a substitute. They want to have the soda feeling, but they want to have that soda feeling in a healthier way. So I'm starting to see
Drink
a lot
water.
of they have like the Perrier water now. That's
expensive.
It's super expensive. That's bougie. That's some bougie sparkling right there.
No, that's upper middle class. There's the other bottle. It's a blue bottle. I forgot the brand called.
It's a blue bottle.
It's a blue.
Saratoga.
I think so. I don't know.
Dude, we used to
Still
sell
water.
Saratoga. It's not. It's pretty known around here, at least. Like Saratoga, like that's pretty popular.
Okay, yeah, I think so. Yeah, it must be Saratoga.
Yeah, because they have the distilled water, right, from Saratoga, and then they have the sparkling. Sparkling's pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll rock with some good sparkling water. Damn, I'm getting bougie now.
Yeah, I think it was this one.
Y'all got that in LA?
Huh?
Y'all got that in LA?
What?
Saratoga?
No, I had it here. I went to New York. My boy took me to a Omakase, and they gave us that water. I think it was that water.
Oh no, I'm saying that, like, do you guys have it in LA?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I've been drinking still water since I've been here because they don't have Poland Spring. So
right, what's the water that they have over there in Cali? Like, what's the Poland Spring equivalent or the Deer Park equivalent?
I forgot the name, but it's the same brand, but it's like a red label.
Huh? Oh, Avion?
No.
Oh,
It's not Evian.
okay. Well, if you're from Cali and just let us know, please. Black Seinfeld NY at gmail.com. Just let us know about that because Bashtin, he lives in LA. He ain't from LA, so I can't ask him LA questions anymore. But I still do it anyways. Anyways, what's else been going on in the world, Bashtin? Dr. Umar got caught with a white woman.
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead. Huh.
That's the brand. That's the West Coast brand.
How's the water taste? Is it all right? Or...
No, it's not good. I don't like it.
Oh. Is it worse than Fiji?
Fiji's not terrible. I just don't like the bottle taste.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Arrowhead is the West Coast version of Poland Spring. But yeah, Dr. Umar was caught in these streets in New Jersey.
With a white woman.
And just for people don't know, Dr. Umar is I don't know, how would you describe him, Gio?
Well, Dr. Umar would describe himself as the Prince of Pan-Africanism. The acronyms read PAPA. That's what he would describe himself. He is one of the most well-known scholars in the black community. That's what he says. He's a Pan-African. He's very pro-black. And if you listen to Dr. Umar speak, and if you've ever seen him on your Instagram live, he always is a big proponent of keeping the black family together, because if the black family's together, that means black people are stronger. So Dr. Umar opposes interracial dating, and Dr. Umar has always said, he will never ever be with a white woman ever, and you can never ever catch him with a white woman. You can never catch him laying with a white woman, and there's never, ever, ever going to be a white woman to come out publicly and say, yes, I've slept with Dr. Umar. One day, Dr. Umar was at the mall, Cherry Hill Mall in New Jersey, Bashtin, and a couple of fans recognized Dr. Umar. I wouldn't call them fans, but people who just know Dr. Umar recognize Dr. Umar, and Dr. Umar was seen canoodling with a white woman, Bastion, and I gotta be honest with you. I felt the same way how Riley felt when he found out Gangstalicious wasn't really a gangster. You know what I'm saying? I felt like younger me when I found out that wrestling was scripted. You know, it kind of hurt my soul because you know you sort of, you don't look up to these people, but you know you expect, you know, these people would practice what they preach, you know, and seeing that, you know, it sort of hurt me, seeing you know, just what I didn't expect to see, you know, and it didn't only hurt me, you know, it hurt a lot of the people in the No Context Dr. Umar page, which I follow wholeheartedly. I still remain to this day. It's one of my favorite Twitter pages of all time. No Context Dr. Umar. Follow him on Twitter. And so this has been a huge scandal within the black community, Bashing. I know, you know, you're looking sad right now because, you know.
I'm not looking sad. I don't give two damns about Dr. Umar. You know that.
I know, man.
I think he's a fool.
Oh, we agree. Oh, by the way, we here at Black Seinfeld do not agree with everything Dr. Umar, at least like 99%.
Anything he says, even if he says something I agree with, I disagree.
99% of what Dr. Umar says, we do not agree with. We're just joking, but no, he really did get caught with a white woman at the mall. But he did come out to clear his name.
I think my favorite thing was how you were in denial about it when I kept messaging you about it, but within like 24 hours, like this story came out, and of course everything was not true. Like,
right.
Someone recognized him, then she asked who, and I seen it before, and of course it happens online all the time, even on TikTok, where it's like, oh, you're famous, like where do I know you from? And then you Google them, say, oh wow, like cool, and that's it. Because he's not a mean person. He's not going to be mean-spirited in the mall. Like,
he's not going to, like, just say, get away from me, you white devil.
He's mean online, but he's not mean in person.
Of course.
So it's only funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
For I think 12 hours, it was a thing, you know. Yeah. It was a scandal.
It was pure jokes. Just pure memery jokes. And I responded to that... to what you sent to me using Dr. Umar memes. I thought that was great. And there was a legit meme where he said, you know, it's not definitive, but you know, the evidence is it's probable there. You know, it's I responded with that. So
he's married to 2 women. He's in a polygamous relationship.
Yes,
if you recall.
Yes, I do remember
so
that.
It would be kind of, I don't know, wild for him to do that at the same time, being married to 2 women.
Yeah.
So,
circling back to Kanye's birthday, it brings me back to Gold Digger, you know?
No, I don't. Oh, Dr. Umar's a gold digger. Understood.
When he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. I gotta read you down, girl. Go ahead, get down. But yeah.
It's a little bit different now in the post-BBL era. So you can replace the lyrics for that, and it still works.
It definitely still works now.
Nah, it's nonsensical, it's ridiculous, and I no longer want to talk about Mr. Umar, your friend.
Of course. Yeah,
that we're not allowed to interview here at WBAI, if I recall.
Oh, yeah. You remember that?
Yeah, this is back in 2016 or 2017.
No, this was 2017 where I think his assistant came up to the station and she was like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "Oh, hey, Umar wants to come on WBAI." I'm like, "Umar who?" He's like, "Johnson." And she was like, "Johnson." I'm like, "Oh, shoot, Dr. Umar." I'm like, "Yo, he wants." And I remember telling the program manager at the time, like, "Yo, Dr. Umar want to come on BAI, da 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 da." And they tiptoed around. It's like, well, gee, look. It's like, if we have Dr. Umar on, we have a lot of listeners who don't agree with Dr. Umar, and if Dr. Umar comes on, we would have to, challenge him in his ideologies, and I think it'd be best if the illustrious blacks would interview Dr. Umar, Shout out to the illustrious blacks, by the way. They were awesome on BAI. But I think they explained it. They broke it down very well to me, and I understood. But now that Black Seinfeld has now that we have our show, we can interview Dr. Umar if we want.
I don't know. I think I understand their point in terms of if you're inviting a guest to the station, it's not CNN.
Right.
It's just good vibes. It's not like when we never had a guest where we were straight up dissing them on live radio, right?
Yeah, although I really wanted that to happen, but that's actually never happened.
We've had so many good, generous, like real passionate people on our show that really care about their craft and their art where we couldn't. So
right.
Yeah, we try and make sure they have a good old time.
Yeah, this is what Black Seinfeld's about. We like having a good time here. I don't want to debate people, but
yeah.
But
if we did interview him, we wouldn't want to have like a bad time. That would look bad on us,
right?
Unless I ask like great questions.
Yeah, you could ask the great questions and challenge his ideology. I'll be in the background just listening and watching and cackling and all that stuff. I don't know why he don't like your boo Naomi Osaka, but you can defend her now.
Sure. Anyways, let's go to the next song.
Sure, we could get to the next song. Let's get to the next song of the week, man. The next song of the week. This song has had a crazy resurgence, if you will. Well, you know what? No, I'm gonna play that at the end. This song right here, I think this is going to be a good song to talk for us to get into the next conversation that we're gonna be having. And this is from the Stylistics. This is People Make the World Go Round. It's one of my favorite tracks, and it's based on one of my favorite openings in all of cinema, Spike Lee's Crooklyn, which if you remember the opening scene, it just shows you the Brooklyn neighborhood before the gentrification, mind you, before all you damn people started coming in and upping all the rent to $2,000 minimum and all that crap and buying up all our shops and all that stuff. But I'm going to get on this rant. So I'm going to stop that. Here's the Stylistics from their debut album. And here's People Make the World Go Round. People make the world go round. Oh, man. People Make the World Go Round, the Stylistics. I don't know, maybe Bashtin, you were maybe listening for Maybach music, Maybach music, and then the Rick Ross edition, I Think She Like Me, featuring Ty Dolla $ign off of Rather You Than Me, one of my favorite Rick Ross projects. I don't know if this was the sample for that.
I haven't heard that song in a while. I might need a refresher.
Oh, okay. Well, I made a remix to it, which it went straight into that. It went into the Maybach music part and then boom. But I wanted to play this song because I felt like it would be more potent on the next topic that we're going to be talking about, man, which is food. Food.
Oh, okay.
That's right, which is food, Bashtin, because, you worked at the Bougie Bakery for a while. I worked in food for the past 6 years. And I remember I was on Twitter and this discussion came up about some of the worst restaurant chains, right? And the first thing it was 4 choices, right? It was Olive Garden, the next one was IHOP, Wingstop, and then Raising Cane's, right? And so I put my little 2 cents. I was like, hey, I'm from New York. We don't have Raising Cane's. Like, what's it like? What's the go-to order? And just let me know. And so everyone who's ever had Raising Cane's or lives in an area where there's Raising Cane's, they're like, yo, if you like unseasoned chicken, Raising Cane's is the spot. The only thing that's good, that makes it good, is the sauce that comes with it. And so everyone is just talking to me and putting me up on game on Raising Cane's. It's a chicken tender spot in the South, and it's not that great. And that's just
probably how I feel about Chick-fil-A. It's like the chicken tenders are good. The only thing I like about that spot, and the sauce.
Whoa, stop. Chick-fil-A is fire. Well, Black Seinfeld, we support the LGBTQ communities. However, I do like Chick-fil-A. I'm not going to lie to you, dog.
I just like the chicken fingers. That's it. Everything else just sucks. The chicken sandwich, garbage.
You don't like the spicy chicken?
Lemonade's good.
Okay, then.
Nah, it's garbage.
I hear the mac and cheese is fire, too.
French fries, mid. Mac and cheese. I don't eat mac and cheese like that.
Well, yeah, you don't. We had
I don't
this
eat American
discussion.
mac and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, you eat macaroni pie. My bad.
And macaroni, basically, right? Once
Yeah.
you bake it, it's no longer mac and cheese American. So, but in general, yeah, I actually did see your comments, and I did read the comments, and people were discussing how they're more known for chicken.
Right.
Their chicken
Tenders, right? That's the only thing they sell.
Tendies.
Yeah, that's the only thing they sell are chicken tenders, and that had me, that had me wondering, what are some fast food eateries, fast food eats that you would want to try that isn't really regional to where you lived? Well, once lived in New York, but now you're in LA, so you could go try Carl's Jr. if you want. You've had In-N-Out Burger, I'm assuming, and you said it sucks. But
well, my initial experience of it sucked. I said it was all right because, in my opinion, it's like if I have to add a million one items the same way, in order for New Yorkers or around the people to understand, around the world to understand, like Five Guys, you ask for the everything and they throw everything on it, right? A basic burger is burger, pickles, lettuce, tomato, the patty, right, and the bread.
Onion.
Then you get if you want onions, it's not needed.
True.
Because it could be cooked or raw. So I'm saying onions, all dependable. But a basic burger, that's all you need. If you're telling me I have to animal style in order to understand what In-N-Out Burger is, then no, I'm not with it.
I thought animal style was for the fries.
It's for everything. Or it could be some other style for the burgers. Then, yeah. Anyways, in order to answer your question, I am not too crazy on fast food. I am interested in like fast food in the South. Just so I know how they throw it down, especially if it has to do anything with soul food. Waffle House, I know Mike could attest to it. The more hood it is, the better.
Yes.
And they're all pretty much the same thing too. Like he didn't have. If Mike was here, he'll give you the story about the one time he had Waffle House with good service, and he was just confused.
Yeah, at Waffle House, the workers have to be missing teeth in order for the food to be good as well. That's
They're
what I heard.
locals, right?
Right.
It's what you would assume when you go into a McDonald's.
Right.
And Gio been to York College, and there's the famous McDonald's at the corner right in front of Jamaica Multiplex.
Yes.
The reason it's so, it's probably the prime real estate because everybody's on that corner. You got pass to go to the E train, or you got to go to the bus terminals, and there's 3 of them in that one area. It's crazy. Anyways, you can, when you go inside, you pretty much could see people that are from the neighborhood. So that's why, if let's say compared to like a Shake Shack in Forest Hills, if I see the same people in Shake Shack Forest Hills in my local McDonald's, I'm gonna be confused. Like, you travel out here for what? You gonna service me?
Right. I agree with you with the fact of, hey, I want to try a lot of the southern region fast food eats because
Cajun,
Cajun, all that stuff,
Louisiana based Creole,
or also like I want to try, because I do love my burgers. I do want to try Whataburger in Texas because it's only based in Texas, and if you see the burgers, like the patty covers up the full bun, like the pause the meat to
you ain't gotta say all that.
You're right. It's disrespectful to my LGBTQs out there. The meat to patty ratio is crazy. Like every bite you get is just burger patty bun, and that's what I want to try. I hear like the Texas melt is fire. What else I want to try? I want to try Bojangles. Kind of sounds racist as hell, but I want to try the chicken from Bojangles.
Oh, you know what was very interesting? I had only once, but I thought it was interesting. Wahlburgers.
Oh yeah, Wahlburgers. There's actually Wahlburgers here in New York now too. That's from the Mark Wahlberg and his brothers, the Wahlberg brothers.
Yeah, that burger was pretty good. I don't know if it still holds up the same. Last time I had it, 3 years ago, I like to say, maybe 4. But I had like the avocado burger or something, and I enjoyed it. I was like, wow, this is. At the time, I said it was better than Shake Shack, but it could have been revisionist history. I could have been remembering wrong, but that's just what I felt like at the time. I could have been very hungry. I don't remember. Yeah. It was in the airport, in Boston Airport.
Well, now, Bastion, there's a lot of fast food chains that are coming now to the East Coast, specifically here in New York. There was, Chick-fil-A finally made its way to New York. I know that we're actually getting a Raising Cane's in Times Square, apparently. Like, people in the comments were telling me, like, yo, we're getting Raising Cane's in Times Square soon. That's going to be like the first location. And I shared like my worry about that, because I remember, Bastion, where we had the West Coast invasion, if you will, in New York, where they opened up one Carl's Jr. here in New York. I'll never forget it. It was like right across the street from Madison Square Garden, and it was legit open for only like 5 months. And I remember going in there with Donnell. I didn't get anything, but he got something, and he got something for his mom, and they got sick from it.
Oh.
So, yeah, so that definitely deterred me from ever eating at that Carl's Jr. And like 5 months later, it closed down quick.
5 months is crazy.
5 months is fucking insane, but
in the restaurant world, it is common like 6 months, but like closing, especially if you're an established brand,
right,
coming up to New York City.
Mm-hmm. But
next to MSG, that's prime real estate right there.
It's prime real estate, but also Carl's Jr. isn't really known to New Yorkers like that. We know of Carl's Jr. I'm sure we've seen it in commercials, but like it wasn't made like a huge deal because the people didn't really rave about Carl's Jr. like that. It was different when Chick-fil-A came to New York. I remember when Chick-fil-A came to New York. The first one that came in, it was around like 36, I want to say like 36th Street and like 6th Avenue. There was people that were lining up the day before so they can be like the first of 100 people to get free Chick-fil-A for a year. That's how crazy it was. When we all got to Chick-fil-A that day, there was a line looping around the block to get some damn Chick-fil-A. That's how crazy it was. When Popeyes came out with their chicken sandwiches the first time around, yes, everyone's asses was waiting for these damn chicken sandwiches.
No, first time around, it was easy.
It wasn't.
Like, once it hit, like maybe a month, maybe it took like 2-3 weeks for it to like, oh no, it's really good. I went back the next day and bought another one. That's when it went crazy. Because I bought it the first week, no problem. The month later, I had to wait online for 35 minutes.
Damn, 35 minutes for some chicken
sandwich? It was a
sandwich?
long way. I was like, man, this is the worst situation to be in as a black man. I'm not happy, and I'm not leaving this line either. So
yeah, I remember. I think we did an episode about the spicy chicken sandwich when it came out too.
It was embarrassing for both of us, but it had to be done for the culture.
And it had to be done for the content too, And that's the culture. Crack a bottle.
It's funny when every time we discuss food, I always think about the food pyramid that we grew up on, because that was introduced back in 92.
Yes.
And by the time we were like in schools 98, 99, and we're taught to understand how to do our servings. And it's funny, it's like when you read the bag, it's like a bag of rice, it's like, oh, enough for 2 or 3 servings.
Yes.
And you eat it and it's like, all right, it's good for the day. So I actually went back to look at the chart, and I actually discussed it with my little brother too. And I sent you the chart as well.
Yes.
So the first part of the chart is bread, cereal, rice, pasta group is 6 to 11 servings, and this is per day.
Yes, and it's important to know that Bashtin brother was studying nutrition
at one point in time.
Yes.
But I grew up as a vegetarian, so I was very aware of having a healthy diet.
Yes, and Bashtin is Haitian too, so he loves rice.
That too. So when I look at a few things, I looked at the bread, pretty much grain, 6 to 11 servings, and then you look at like milk and dairy, which is 2 to 3 servings.
That is sick.
Exactly.
Especially for black people. It's disgusting.
So I remember when I was younger and I was looking at this chart at the pyramid, what we initially grew up on before Michelle Obama changed it
to the food circle.
Then later became my plate, which is less, which is more of like splitting your meals throughout the day compared to this, which was serving size base.
Right.
I always drink a cup of milk. And I had no problem with the milk. Of course, I had the cookies on the side with the Oreos.
Oh,
The golden
okay.
Oreos.
I was getting
Always
concerned.
on point.
I was getting
No,
concerned.
but it changes the flavor of the milk afterwards.
Yeah.
Or I will put cereal in the cup of milk and just like eat it and then drink the milk.
No,
and
I
just sugary something else.
No, I thought you were just drinking milk by itself like a
I
sadist.
was too. I had
you're
organic whole milk.
You're
it
a
was
sick nigga. You know that, right? You were
it was
sick.
perfectly fine. You know.
People who drink milk by
Anyways.
itself are murderers. People, I just want to let you know.
Anyways, I remember meat, poultry, all that type of stuff, and this is when I knew that the pyramid was fishy, right? It said meat and all those type of stuff. Grew up as a vegetarian. I couldn't eat meat, right? On the chart it said 2 to 3 servings, and so there's fish, there's nuts, and there's eggs.
Yes.
So in my mind, as a kid, say, okay, so because it counts as a serving, that pretty much gives me the okay to eat eggs every single day. Right? Of course, parents like, no, you can't do that. You're tripping, because it's not good. You know, it's high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and so and so. So recent, and I do remember there's a lot of documentaries that discuss like, the eggs are just not bad for you. So recently, Adam Conover, he has a new TV show special on Netflix called The G Word, and the G is government.
Yes.
Where he discusses different parts of the government and how it works, because we don't know how the government works really. So in the first episode was about food, and something I didn't know, but I thought would be very interesting to discuss, is when they were creating the pyramid, they actually had different companies from those fields, like the dairy field, actually input their ideas on what should be on the pyramid.
Right.
So apparently the pyramid is not a U.S. thing. It's actually somewhere else in the world. It started off first. So their pyramid is a lot different from our pyramid because of that, because we had corporate input on what to put on it. So if you look at the chart and see milk and dairy, it shouldn't be there because we don't need milk and dairy to survive because it adds no nutritional value. And then when you look at fruit group, it's 2 to 4. You're telling me that you need to eat the same amount of dairy and the same amount of fruits in order to survive is a little bit insane.
See, that part I actually did know because I would watch a lot of, back in the day, I watched a lot of like food documentaries. Of course, we can always go back to like Super Size Me 1 and 2. I know I've talked about it numerously on this show, but also like Food Inc. I think that's like one of the most notorious food documentaries that you can watch, where they talk about how the government plays a part in our consumption, and they talk about the factories and how sometimes how they can be not the most ethnically friendly to the animals. But I know in Adam in the G Word, they showed a different factory where they have all of these like veterinarians that also work for the government, and they assure that these animals are treating the most humanely and blah 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 blah. But but that other food documentary I was talking about,
the FDA.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Food Inc. They show actually like how mistreated a lot of our food actually is, especially like the hormone chickens and the cattle. But I think one of there's a commonality between both of those documentaries, and they talk about the abundance of corn that we all consume, that a lot of us consume, and that's abundant in these supermarkets. You know how you go into the supermarket and you read a lot of the ingredients, and sometimes the cheaper things or the less unhealthy things, it's made from corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. And the reason why that is because we have an overabundance of corn. Now, what he doesn't talk about in that episode too, Bashtin, is that corn too, it's how they feed a lot of our animals too that go for slaughtering. So that's how they feed the chicken. That's how they feed some fish. That's how they even feed cow. Cows aren't supposed to be eating corn. They're supposed to be eating grass and all that stuff. They even feed it to fish, which is fucking weird.
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of fish farms here in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Well, here in the East. For you, you're in the East.
I'm in the East, yes.
Compared compared to the West.
Yeah, you West Side now.
So yeah, I did find it very painful that if you didn't have that information, that set information, you could just be looking at this chart and being okay with digesting so much like carbohydrates.
Yes.
Right. And it's to a simple point where they don't talk about simple carbohydrates, which you could get from fruits. And you need that to survive as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, the food pyramid has always been something really, really interesting to me. And of course, I'm happy that they changed it to the mind plate. But mind plate isn't as understandable compared to the food pyramid, where you could come out of something and say, okay, so if I eat bread in the morning, then eat crackers throughout the day, then end the day with rice or pasta, it's a W.
Right.
But then I could have cheese in the bread. That's a win. Have vegetables on the side. But nowadays is a little bit different. I do think the options that we have definitely has a negative impact on how we eat, especially with like the cheeseburgers and the delicious chicken sandwiches that are just getting better year after year, which is insane.
Yes, but the reason why they're getting better too is they're starting to the general perception is now is they're assuming that chicken is healthier, right, than a lot of the burgers and stuff, which in theory yes, but there's a reason why in their marketing, they don't really say fried chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? They say crispy chicken sandwich because it doesn't.
I never considered that.
Yeah, because it doesn't. You don't feel as guilty getting a fried chicken sandwich, but if it's crispy, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I never felt I never felt guilty ordering the crispy chicken wrap. Was it the ranch chicken wrap sandwich from McDonald's?
Exactly, the freaking snack wrap too. You get the tender crisp chicken, the freaking honey mustard tender crisp snack wrap or something like that.
Not a fan of that one. I always got the ranch.
The ranch
with barbecue.
Right, but that's the reason why they call it crisp, because they don't want you to feel guilty of in reality it's just a fried chicken. But if you say crispy chicken or crisp chicken, that's sort of it sort of subsidizes or just it cushions the impact of no, this is actually like fried chicken. So just something to think about, people. That's how marketing works, people.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the world takes it. I know we have the impossible meat, which is pushing people towards the direction towards away from actual red meat into using this lab created meat. Yeah,
which is even worse to me.
It's not soy based, surprisingly. I actually did some research. There's no soy in it.
Oh, okay. Still worse though to me, because they even have those Beyond Meats that actually like bleed. Like that's freaking nuts. Like I get it. All right, some people want to have that feeling of eating meat, but like it's not really meat. I feel like, hey man, this is just my humble opinion. You wanted that lifestyle, you stick to that damn lifestyle. Don't try and just recreate stuff that you used to love because you gave it up. That's your choice. Your body, your choice. You stick to them eating them damn carrots and them celery sticks, B. All right, eat your little cauliflower wings. I'll give you that. But don't try and create these fake ass meat into having it bleed and all that. You can't get a real medium burger like that, B, or a medium well burger. Is weird to me. That's weirdo energy, as Bashtin would say, because he's from LA, right, Bashtin?
True. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much where we want to discuss in terms of food. And like the fast food, of course, it'll be really interesting to see what they have out here in LA. Hopefully, I could try out some more things. I tried
more. I tried a new fast food area recently. It's called Pollo Campero. It's basically like Mexican fried chicken, and they have grilled chicken as well. And my manager was like, "Yo, trust me, do not try it. It is weak as hell." And I should have listened to her because it was really weak as hell. The yuca fries was not hitting. That made me sad, because if I ever get the option of getting yuca fries, I'm getting the yuca fries. So I got the yuca fries. It wasn't that great. The fried chicken was weak, but the grilled chicken, surprisingly enough, because it's Mexican, so they gave me like a lime wedge too to spurt all over the grilled chicken. It was fire. Like, that was fire. The corn salad was fire. Everything else was meh.
Everybody should open a restaurant, even if they have experience in that field.
Yeah, I agree, man. But there's also a new thing when it comes to a lot of, like, not even fast food restaurants, but like higher quality fast food restaurants where, you know, you have stuff like Shake Shack, or you have stuff like Sticky's Finger joints where, you know, it's like a higher quality. It's a bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, it's still fast food. It just takes a bit longer to make. You feel me? It's a higher quality, but at the end of the day, you're still eating like still crap, but it's just better crap.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of difficult to rate your favorite fast food because it's all about how you feel at the end of the day. Because sometimes you could put Shake Shack on top.
Yes.
Other days, you might be more interested in like a real full burger like Five Guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it's difficult when you're talking to other people and they put a nonsensical restaurant. For example, if they put Cheesecake Factory as their top 5 restaurant to go to, say, all right, so you have family, you're going to bring them to Cheesecake Factory? That's kind of weird. But if they said if they want to, it's the top 5 restaurant to bring their friends to hang out and drink, that makes more sense. You know, and of course, if I will yell at anybody that will ever put Olive Garden as their top 5 because it's by far the worst restaurant I've ever been to, especially for eating a pasta dish.
Yeah, Olive Garden is really bad, and it hasn't gotten any better to me, at least. I'm not a fan of Olive Garden at all. You know, once upon a time, you know, when I was younger, I thought, you know, going to Olive Garden is like, yo, it's like, this is like top quality eating right here. Olive Garden and Red Lobster. But the only difference between Red Lobster and Olive Garden is them damn Cheddar Bay biscuits. Boy, I'll tell you what, still freaking elite, okay? They're still elite. There's no saving factors when it comes to Olive Garden. The breadsticks suck. I don't like the salad. It's way too vinegary for me. I don't like it. Everything else isn't that great. It's not good, B. It's just not good at Olive Garden. But, you know, back then when I didn't know any better, I just thought, you know, it was top-notch cuisine. But, you know, I'm older now and I can spend a bit more money. And, yeah, it's not good.
Understandable.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in terms of lists, yeah, it's really difficult to make a list. And speaking of difficult making a list, Gio, have you seen the more recent Rolling Stones article of the greatest 200 of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time list?
For the record, I did not want to talk about this, nor did I want to read this list because I already knew what it was about this list, but Bashtin said it was good for content because he knows what it's going to do and it's working. It already made me mad, people. Yes, I've seen the list. Yes, I've heard the reactions. I've read the list from 200 all the way up to 1, and this is what it is. It's just a bunch of white men, because that's what majority of the hip hop culture in Rolling Stones were. It's just all white men who created this dumbass list, and it was just an inclusion piece for everyone to get a little piece of. That is it, okay? The reason why people are upset is because of the placements for a lot of these albums, and the albums that, and some of the albums that even made it onto this freaking list is stupid. Okay.
Well, before we even jump there, I don't necessarily want to talk directly on the list because I didn't save on who was what.
I can tell you who.
No, but we don't have to jump in.
Fine.
But the only funny thing that I always put in my heart is like, if Illmatic isn't in the top 10 of the best rap albums of all time, then the list is automatically wrong. But the first thing I wanted to discuss is when creating or making an article or any type of commenting on the culture is a very difficult thing to do when you're creating an all-time aspect of it. Now, Gio, if I were to ask you who's the best rapper of all time, who would you say of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Based
rapper,
on
not hip hop, like rap.
Just like straight up like bars?
See, that's the thing.
Like, what's the
first question you ask is, what type of style am I focused on when creating that, when choosing the rapper? Is it bars? Is it lyrics? Is it that rapper knows how to make good hit singles?
Right.
What am I creating this list based on? So that's why I always thought when you're commenting on the culture, and of course we discussed this with Kendrick Lamar's The Heart Part 5, like who is it for?
Right. It's clearly not for hip hop fans. It's not for rap fans. Well, this list at least.
This list isn't. But in terms of when you're creating a list in order to get like engagement, right? And it's been a recent thing, and I discuss this with you all the time. It's like how these hip hop blogs aren't the same as they used to be, because back then that was where you will find new music, and it was curated. So the people operating those websites understood that if they curate good music, that'll bring more traffic to them. Now it doesn't exist like that.
Right, it's all about
now all you have to do is create a crazy hot take, a nonsensical list, and then you will have the conversation happening in your space.
Of course, it's all about the controversy behind these lists.
Exactly. So that's the thing about when you're commenting for the culture. It's like, are you commenting for the benefit of it, or are you just creating more controversy where now people have to say nonsensical things that they weren't saying before, right? When every now and then we get the same debate talking about Outkast, right? Say, oh, Andre 3000 is the best. Like, no, Big Boy and Andre 3000 are the best rappers together,
right?
Because they always worked together. And we don't have enough solo project from Andre compared to Big Boy, and I think Big Boy has like 2 really solid good solo projects.
Yes.
That I will always say, like, no, this shows that he could do it if he wanted to, especially if he started his career like this. So that's what I mean when you're creating these conversations for the culture. It's like, who is this for? And that's the thing I thought about with the list. Yeah, the list pissed me off. It essentially pissed you off too. But was it the list I'm mad about, or was it that my concept of all time wasn't the same as they referred it to?
Oh, well, the reason why I was upset was the fact that once I saw who curated this list, that's what made me upset. Well, the first thing that made me upset, honestly, was Rolling Stone and the top 200 hip hop albums of all time, because Rolling Stone should have no, to me at least, they just stay away from hip hop stuff. Don't stay away. And then the people that were writing this, the whole collaboration where, majority of these were white men, and it was only like one black dude, no black women involved whatsoever, which is another insult to me. But once I saw the real collaboration full of white men, that's why I already knew off rip. I'm like, I don't want to read this. And I said that off rip. Nah, I'm good. I don't care. I don't want to read it. I'm fine. I know what it's going to do. So no. And I think that's what made me the most angriest.
So if you were to, and this is something, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it today, but Lil Nas X was commenting on how he wasn't nominated for anything for the BET Awards.
Yes.
But Jack Harlow was able to get a nomination, especially from the song that they did together.
Yes.
It was an Industry Baby, right?
It was Industry Baby.
And it's a great song, and I felt like I seen them perform it on TV multiple times last year.
Yeah.
And one thing that came to my mind is when we were talking about this hip hop culture and definitely how it lost its
gatekeepingness,
the gatekeeping process of it. Yes. And like I said, back then when we had the blog era during the 2009, 2011, 2013, by 2015 that's when things changed, of course, because the internet was probably the last of it, right?
Yeah. And I'm not a big fan
of Gambino.
And I'm not a big fan of gatekeeping, Bashtin, but sometimes it's like lists like this where I'm like, you know what? Y'all might be right with this gatekeeping stuff. Y'all
See,
might
that's
be
why
onto
my
something.
question for you is if you were to curate or create a new hip hop culture journalism, how would you direct it?
I would direct it with people who represent hip hop culture, who identify with hip hop culture, who is reflected of the hip hop culture. Sorry, I have to bring this up. the people that would curate a list like this wouldn't predominantly be white men. I'm sorry, it wouldn't be, because that's not what hip hop was intended for. It was intended for the have-nots. It was intended for people of the inner cities. It was intended for people of color, black people, Latinos. It was intended for us. You know what I'm saying? It was intended for also black women as well, because the women have been dominating as of recently too. And so that's how I would create it. I would use, of course you have to include the OGs in that discussion of, okay, 200 of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, because those were the forefathers and the foremothers of, of creating what hip hop is today.
And it also helps with the revisionists,
right?
Because you might recency development. Hence, you'll put someone like Cardi B much higher in the list. Not saying that her album was Invasion of Privacy, if I recall.
Yes, it's Invasion of Privacy, which is a great album, but does it belong on the top 200? No.
No, it's not even that. It's like, why would you bring that up? Why would we have this conversation? Like, are we trying? We're not trying to diss her as an artist. So why would you bring this conversation up?
And it doesn't even go also to Cardi B. It goes to a lot of like recent artists that came out with recent projects. Like, it also goes for Megan Thee Stallion. It goes for Lil Nas X. It goes for Travis Scott. And they even put the best Travis Scott album on there. But I feel like if you want to put 200 of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, I feel like if you want to put in a very recent project, it has to have like transcended the sound of hip hop. It had to have been like something like To Pimp a Butterfly, where it was like one of the best albums of the freaking decade. I don't think like you should put on a Flo Milli's album just so you can have some inclusion in there. And I like Flo Milli. I think her album is dope, but 200 of the best hip hop albums of all time? No, that's too recent. Lil Sims was there too. Lil Sims too. And I freaking love that album. That was my favorite album of 2021. No, not on this. No. And then they say, oh, we didn't want to put any grime. We didn't want to put any reggaeton. We didn't want to put none of that. You had Lil Sims on there. So that's just me, okay? If you want to talk the best hip hop albums, I feel like, no, you can't put anything recent, because we ain't haven't given time to breathe yet. That's just me. And you can't put, and the problem also is, like, as Bashtin said, when you put in these recent albums too, and you haven't beating out like classic legendary ass albums, the conversation isn't about, the albums anymore. It's gonna go to like trashing the artist, which isn't even their fault. It's Rolling Stone's fault. And that's all I got to say about that, because I want to play my song. What do you have to say, though, Bashtin?
This is Black Seinfeld show about absolutely nothing. Tune in next week.
Yes.
And, follow us on any social media platform. We're on Black Seinfeld NY on Twitter and Instagram. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach us out at blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. We're on all podcasts, so you can listen to our archive. You can check in any type of podcast platform. Just type in Black Space Seinfeld, then tune in. We'll be back next week.
Yes.
Other than that,
take care. We're going out to a song that is getting a huge resurgence now, and it's due to Stranger Things Season 4. Here's Kate Bush, Run Up That Hill, A Deal with God. We'll see you guys next week.